from Julio Cruz and Gaylord Perry to Alvin Davis and Harold Reynolds to father and son back-to-back bombs, from Junior J, Joey, and Edgar with Randy, A-Rod, Dan, and the Sheriff, to Ichiro Moyer and Mikey C, to King Felix, Kyle Cruz, and Cano, to the present with Julio, Gilbert, Kirby, and Cal. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. My, oh my, our Mariners are stacking up series wins. The NFL draft is around the corner. It's WrestleMania weekend. NBA playoffs have started, and my boy Justin Thomas has won the RBC Heritage down there in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. But of course, my oh my, it's another sports podcast. We got super producer Indy out there in Nashville, Tennessee, rocking the ones and twos. That's Vaden Podcast Services. Vaden Podcast Services bringing the show to life. Got to give a huge shout out to all our homies in the live chat. Oh, you didn't know? Yo ass better call somebody. And I'm calling you, RG. What's going on, bro?
Look in my eyes. What do you see, baby? The cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you want to be. The cult of personality. Let's go to work.
Let's do it, baby. I see Tyson Baxter is already up in here. We'll get to your Orioles in a second. 24-2, though. Holy shit, man. I thought some teams had problems. He's been saying they needed pitching for a while. He's been asking the Mariners to trade some pitching, RG. It's been a little bit hit or miss with our staff recently. They're grinding. They're not dominating. But all that matters, bro, after a 3-7 start, our Mariners have gone 9-3 since.
They've been playing some really good ball. Shout out to Cal Raleig's bat for coming alive. And Rosa Reina's been doing his job. Might have found herself a third baseman, and according to the text you sent out earlier, still are too early in the year to crown anybody. But dude's been out there playing well. And we've had the return of Rowdy Tejas. Guy's been smacking the hell out of the ball for us, man. So good week, 4-2 on the week. We climbed out of the basement into second place. Now keep in mind it is only April 20th. So second place right now is just as good as nothing really. But wait, our offense has finally come back to life, and can't complain about that, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It is kind of crazy to think about this offense because while it's still flawed, they were so terrible the last couple years when it comes to batting average, runners in scoring position. We're still not there, but I'm so glad you brought up Cal Raleigh, man. The man is on a power surge right now, bro. He's now tied for second in home runs for Major League Baseball. Our catcher is tied for second in bombs. He's seeing it. He's driving it. I want to give a huge shout out. You're right. Randy Arozarena, his average might still be dog crap, but he's been clutch. He's hitting grand slams when it looks like we're about to lose. Walk-off walks, and I just want to go over where we're looking right now, RG. Mariners are 4th in walks, 19th in strikeouts, 1st in stolen bases, but 26th in batting average. So clearly, we're struggling to get hits consistently, but if we get the home runs, we keep getting stolen bases. I love how we're aggressive, man, although there's a fine line between being aggressive and reckless. And one game the Mariners lost recently, I felt they were pretty reckless out there. And when you're a team that can barely hit 220, you really can't be getting thrown out at third base.
You know how I feel about playing for home runs, man. I think that's a slippery slope, and when it goes well, it goes well. When it doesn't go well, it can be weeks before it goes well again. The team batting average is the thing I probably would harp on the most. And I know at times it sounds like I hate the team that I love, but I just wish we played all around ball in all phases of the games better. Our quote unquote superstar, the guy who has the biggest payroll on the roster, is still hitting a buck 88 and he's under the Mendoza line. there were times I have personally felt that we gave him too much too soon, but still trying to be patient with the young man to be able to figure it out. But the other pieces in the lineup are finally starting to come together. Randy Rowdy Tejas' average isn't the best, but there's been times where we've needed you to be great and you've gone up and have given us great at bats. Haven't really gotten much out of Solano in the pickup. Robles is hurt. Polanco had a good home run the other day. Um, but really, man, it's back on the back of Cal. Cal, and unfortunately, I got to say it, the other hitter that we left out in this hot streak is Dylan Moore. Just, dude's been crazy, unbelievable. But like friend of the show, Eric Neal has said, if Dylan Moore is in your top five of hitting, there's a problem there. So we definitely need to get the work done. We can't have the Julio of last year, even though he ended hot. We needed him to be hot early. So hopefully we can find a way to be able to weather that. But shout out for him, man. 4-2 on the week. Some really good wins. I didn't think we were going to pull out the game that Castillo started, even though he only gave up 3 runs. He did give up 10 hits. We used to call that getting shelled where I come from. But luckily enough, the scoreboard didn't ring like a cash register while he was giving up those hits, and we found ways to win. So all in all, just a great week for the guys, man. Good week for the guys. Plenty of baseball left to be played. Just stay strong. Stay strong.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, we're barely even 10% the way through the season, so you're right. We still got a long ways to go. And think about it, 10 games through, I was about to bury this team. So this is how baseball is. But damn it, I'm really liking what we're seeing right now, though, because if you told me that our starting rotation would need the lineup to pick them up this early and that they would actually be able to help out, I would have called bullshit, man. The season's sinking fast. So I'm really optimistic about that. And Rowdy Tellez, Rowdy Tellez, depends on where you are in this world, I guess. But anyways, this dude, man, it ain't a joke though. The last few years he went 35 bombs, then 13 and 13. He already has 4 this year. The main difference in all those seasons was 3 years ago when he hit 35 compared to 13, he had the at bats. So if we could actually give this dude enough at bats, he might be able to hit over 30 home runs. Cal's looking like he's going to go to for 40. We know this isn't home run derby. Shout out Tyson Baxter. We need more from Julio. You're absolutely right. I think it will come. And this is just a tough spot when you're the Seattle Mariners. Because RG, 5 months into Julio's first season, I was like, boy, he's going to be in pinstripes or Dodgers blue in 5 years. And so you're stuck between a rock and a hard place as the Mariners organization because you're either going to lock your guys up early like they've done with Julio and Cal, or they're going to get to free agency and we're never going to see them again.
I think the pressure may be getting to Julio just a little bit. Um, and I really think that we need to change his philosophy at the plate. Let's be patient. Let's I mean, I know he can't instantly become the patient hitter that Juan Soto is, but even 15% of that would help that guy out. Just let's get up here and everything doesn't need to be a jack. Let's hit the ball hard up the middle, hit the ball where it's pitched. But again, a young man's going to be a young man. We got to give him time to figure out, no matter how impatient I am. But I am, and we've been talking about it for years. The other teams I cheer for are all competing at the upper echelon and on the brink. And I'm just not going to sit by and let the Mariners put me through emotional roller coaster hell throughout the rest of my life. Um, but like we said, it's still early, man, and just whatever it takes to get that guy rolling. The pieces around him continue to do what they do, and if he can contribute to that, we might be we might be looking at something that we can maintain this year instead of what happened to us when we got to June 18th last year. But we are going to need some help to our pitching rotation. Definitely need Kirby to come back healthy. We're going to ask a lot of the 4 guys who are carrying it. I don't consider Hancock a part of that rotation yet because he's a little unproven. But if you can just give us a Jack Flaherty for the Dodgers kind of start, where by the time we get to the fifth inning, if we're not down 5 runs, I'll take it from you. Still a long way to go, but yeah, shout out to the way that the guys have been playing, man. Shout out to the way the guys have been playing. A well deserved day off, and then hopefully those short porches in Boston can help out over the next 3 days next week.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you got to bring your best to Boston. It's that simple. You know what's crazy too is you brought up Dylan Moore. He's probably been the second best player on the team this year, at least by position player standards. Cal, plain and simple, he's the team MVP. Cal is playing right now like a freaking league MVP, in my humble opinion. His average might not be where you want an MVP to be at, but you got to look at what a dude's doing across the diamond in totality. But I also want to touch on a few veterans who all three players have a batting average below 213, but I think they're all going to turn it around at least to a certain extent. JP Crawford, Randy Rosarina, and even Mitch Garver all averages below 213, but they all have on base percentages way above league average. JP 65 points above league average, Randy 32, and Garver 29 points above league average. I saw Garver have a couple of tough outs this weekend, including one where he nailed the pitcher right in the ass with the 110 mph line drive. So there is a little hope in this lineup. We got to see the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of baseball, man. But uh, I just want more from Julio. And you're right though. Maybe if everyone's wanting so much more from him, maybe he's pressing a little bit. But I'm also getting the feeling, RG, that some guys go 1 for 4 every single day. Some guys are just really up and down, and he might be that dude.
A lot of ball for him to be able to figure it out still. Maybe it's just let him go up at the plate and have fun. We not no expectations. Go up here, have fun, embrace embrace the struggle. One of the things that I've heard over the last few weeks, and I'm going to harp on, was the saying that pressure is a privilege. So embrace it, man. Embrace the dark time. Embrace the grind. Get in the cage. Just work on spraying the ball around the yard instead of putting it in the seats, and see what happens with your swing. Maybe there's a tick into it. Maybe he's not recognizing the pitch as well, but there's something that has to give in his. And the guy's talented. It's not like he doesn't deserve to be where he's at, but he is making a lot of money to have the slow starts that he's had. And I know he got injured last year. Maybe that's playing with him somewhat psychologically this year. Whatever it is, we just need that guy to come and contribute and see if we can keep pushing the ship forward and see where we're at towards the midway point.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I just want to get a little food for thought from you, man. I looked it up, and it's crazy how low it is right now, though. Major League Baseball's on base percentage is 312 right now.
Yeesh.
Shockingly low. And maybe I shouldn't be shocked given the way the game's played right now, but that is an unbelievably low number for on base percentage.
It is, and maybe that percentage is even higher just because Tyson Baxter's team gave up 199 hits today. And if you listen softly, I think they might have just given up another one. But it was meant to happen in the world of let's play for the 3 run home runs and try to jack everything. It's cool highlights. It's cool for those of us who are chasing basis parlays, but for the long term health of the game, because you definitely don't want kids to take that mentality, because then you're just going to have a generation of players coming up who are just looking to see if they can hit the ball 400 feet. It's not beer league softball. There's there's money to be made hitting 330, doing what Luis Arias does, making contact, getting on base constantly. Base runners equals runs. Base runners equals runs. Walks equal runs. How many times do you see the guy get walked and then 4 pitches later he's standing on third base? Just amazing that we have guys whose percentages are that high. And it always seems that we have 11 of one and two of the other. It would be great if we could have a balance and a little bit of more. But again, it's April 20th. Long way to go.
I just want to touch on the Mariners, like how they started each series, and they won each series. They went 4-2 on the week, but they lost the first game on the road in Cincinnati. They lost the first game on the road in Toronto. And I really love the shout out Mankind on WrestleMania weekend, the intestinal fortitude of this team, though. Because it's really easy to be like, ah, shit, we're on the road. We lose the first game. We're not going to win the series. Blah. Fuck that. These guys, might not be the most talented roster we've ever seen. But shout out to my dad and my grandpa. May they rest in peace. I see a little piss and vinegar out of this group, and I love it.
I'm happy to see it. Maybe it's Tuesdays that are our Achilles heel. We haven't won a game on a Tuesday in the last 3 weeks. So maybe we should forego all games on Tuesdays. And really, in the last that span, our record on Fridays hasn't been that hot either. So maybe it's just a glitch in the matrix right now. But they are playing. I'm not gonna call it inspired, but they're definitely playing with more energy than it seems that we have are used to them playing at this part of the year. That pitching staff is definitely going to have to get healthy though, because there is going to come a time it's baseball, and we all know how this goes. Hot starts come by the dog days of summer, and then we're scratching our heads trying to figure out where it all went wrong by the 4th of July. We're definitely going to need that pitching staff to get healthy and have some series where they're the dominant forces. But until we have all hands on deck and we're playing how we're playing, I'll take it, man. I'll definitely take it compared to how we got started. There was nowhere else to go up, nowhere else to go from the bottom up. Just happy that it's worked out for us.
Yeah, no doubt. But it is worrisome though. You're right, man. You start 3-7, you wonder, is this just a shitty baseball team? There's been many teams that have had a few winning years in a row and then just fall apart. And the Mariners lineup on paper, Lord knows it could fall apart still. I mean, let's be real about this, but okay, good question, Mariners Lifer. What do you think of Dan Wilson so far? I really like it. I do think we've ran ourselves out of a game or two so far, but I love the aggressiveness on the base pass, man. And we did not see that out of Scott's service, and I think that's because Scott was what much more analytically driven manager. Dan's got a little bit more of that Lou Piniella feel to him, and we talk about it a bunch. RG, force these fielders to make good plays. Sometimes they're going to throw you out, but force them to make good plays because more often than not, when you force the issue, good things happen. I just think they got to be a little bit more judicious on how they go about it. You can't be thrown out at third base with 2 outs.
There's a fine line between reckless and pressing the issue. So as long as we're pressing the issue and putting the pressure on the defense, it's okay. When we are out there just with the little league mentality, I heard the crack of the bat, I'm running until somebody tells me to stop. We definitely don't need any of that. And I like Dan so far. Like you said, instead of letting the computer tell you how the game should be run, there's definitely more of a human feel towards what we're doing this year. And I for one, just want to see the good times keep going. We all know how baseball goes. So right now, for us to be in the position that we're in, for us to have fought the way that we have, adversity can build some character. And it seems that this team does have a lot of character behind it. It would be nice to get our superstar going. Still, April 20th, man. Can't ask for more.
I hear you. I hear you. So I asked you this question last week, and I'm going to be monitoring it all year. I'm going to monitor this all year, and it's a really tough one for me. That's why I want to get your opinion. But Ty Locklear in AAA is hitting 304 with 2 home runs, 5 stolen bases, and an 856 OPS. He is rocking and rolling down there in Tacoma. Donovan Solano's hitting 074 with 0 home runs and a 146 OPS. I repeat, I didn't say average. He has a 146 freaking OPS, but this is a guy that hasn't hit under 280 since 2016, but he is 37. You said May 1st you would start to consider a change there. Is that still kind of where you're at? Do we need to ride Solano longer since his track record's been so good? I'm at at a loss, and I don't get paid a lot of money to make these decisions. Maybe that's why I'm at a loss, but this is a tough one for me.
Boston series starts on the 22nd. That'll take us to the 25th. When we get home on the 25th, 26th, and 27th, another Monday off day, two-game wham bam, thank you, man, with the Angels, then on the road to Texas. If that dude hasn't done anything by the end of that LA game, by the end of the game with the Angels, I think it's time to make the switch. But it's that balance again, man, where Locklear is hitting the ball right now. So do we want to bring him up while he's hot and maybe miss the stretch of pitchers that Solano could see that could get him going? And like you said, it's a tough decision to make, but I believe it's Hunter S. Thompson who says he who hesitates will ultimately have his choice showed will ultimately have his choice made for him by circumstance. So I believe we need to make that move rather sooner or later. And if Locklear gets up and can't perform, it's not hurting anything. I mean, we're replacing a guy who doesn't have a major league average with a guy who doesn't have a major league average. So it's an even wash for me. Yeah, 146 OPS. It sounds like a joke. Me and Tyler have 146 OPSs, basically. Yeah, man. But again, baseball is hard. Baseball is hard, and again, I wouldn't wait too long to make the experimental play. It's early enough in the season where I don't think it would be rocking the boat too much. It's just trying to keep the boat moving forward.
hmm Yeah. And I think Ty Locklear is in that spot too, RG, where he came up last year. He had a little bit of success, but got exposed kind of quickly afterwards and has gone back to AAA. This is a really normal path for big league players that become successful. They come up, they get a taste, they show a little good things, then the league catches on pretty quickly and humbles them quick. They go back to AAA, kick ass and take names, and then hopefully they come up for that second time and they never look back. I really don't want to give up on Solano though because his track record's been so good, RG. But at 37 years old, when you already only have a millisecond to decide to swing or not, if you lose a millisecond of bat speed, that might be the end, dude.
Maybe getting demoted lights a fire under his ass. I'd be willing to make the move before this series starts in Boston. To be honest, just whatever it takes to make sure that what is good in the offense can stay good, and we're trying to make plays to make it good. But then that's been the headache of the Mariners for the last 5 years. Is when we see something going well, it's almost like we cut off our nose to spite our face to try to be smarter than what the averages are, and it doesn't really play out that well for us. I it's I wish I had something I could put my hand on with it there, but I say make the move. I say make the move, but time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. And as an organization, the Mariners want Ty Locklear to be that guy. So we'll see what happens. I'm just so happy that
Well, you need him to.
Rowdy. What's
You
that?
need him to.
Oh yeah.
You need him to because if you're going to think of the well, not so much an "I told you so" moment, but if you get Locklear up here and he performs and performs well, then it takes the pressure off your back for not going out and getting us a $30 million bat that we wanted. It may not be a cure all to all, but at least you can show your face and say, "Hey, I told you, let's have faith in this farms team that we don't want to break up and these pieces that we don't want to move." and it could almost buy you some more time before the executioner comes. They need that dude to perform well. Because now you're going to be in a position with Harry Ford where there's almost not a spot for him for another 2 years. You gave Cal big money. Mitch is going to be your backup. You can't take Mitch's money out of the lineup. So you're going to need to show something for why you were unwilling to move those pieces that we have that other teams may deem valuable to try to get something done. They need Locklear to get up and be able to perform. But if not now, then when? And if not him, then who?
Yeah, that's a good point. And he's really
So,
not that young anymore. He's probably like 25 by now, so it's kind of that time where he's either going to do it or he's not, just the way pro sports have gone. We got to give another. You were right though. We quickly shouted out Ben Williamson, who's come up from AAA with very little AAA experience. He looked kind of bad on Sunday. That's got to be expected from a guy that's only played a week of Major League Baseball. But he's already showing off why everyone said he's a fantastic fielder at third base. Mariners desperately needed it. Third base was looking atrocious from a fielding aspect earlier. I love that he actually has a compact swing, RG. You're always telling me, man, why can't these guys just go short to and through and go up the middle, get some singles, get some doubles? You and he hit a bomb on Saturday, I believe. It was such a compact swing. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, the guy we've all been wanting for a couple years now. He's not coming to Seattle because he just signed for what, $500 million. Vlad Jr. hits a ball 120 miles per hour on the exit velo. Dude knocks the ball down, picks it up, fires to first, gets the out. Williamson is a fantastic addition, at least at third base. Hopefully, he can just hit his weight and we'll go from there. I just looked up Harry Ford, though, and he's only hitting 238 right now at AAA. I still have really high hopes for the guy, but 238 at Tacoma doesn't lead me to believe he's really ready for the big leagues. But it's also hard to know. We've seen guys like Brian Wu and Bryce Miller have somewhat mediocre to lackluster stats in the minors and come up and do work right away, but I feel pitching's a little different than hitting in that aspect.
I say it's almost equal. It's almost equal. I think that facing a major league hitter probably is just as difficult as hitting one. Because if you don't hit your spots and your locations, you're going to get tagged because they're up there looking for your mistake. Um, Ford's in a very interesting situation, but again, I say we should have moved while the iron was hot and tried to get something out of him before the downfall happens. Because what you definitely don't want the guys in our farm system to do is die on the vine. Because then all that big talk about us having a top 10 farm system, if those guys aren't down there still performing well at the levels that they're at, they become invaluable. But that's why front offices get paid what they do to do their jobs. And hopefully they have a good pulse on it. So guys like me and you don't sit in our studios and continue to harper them for their bad decisions. But to me, I don't think that there's anything to keep waiting for. Let's try it. Let's try it. As clutch as Rowdy has been, he's under the Mendoza line. Solano looks like he needs a tennis racket to be able to do something. Give the young buck a shot.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, it's a good problem to have right now, trying to figure out what to do with these guys. And I just don't know what the market's like in baseball. It just feels like it's harder to acquire good hitters via trade compared to maybe when we were younger in our lives as kids, etc. It feels like you either got to pay them or have them grow up in your system via the Orioles or maybe like the Dodgers do and just pay their guys. We know what side of the fence the Mariners are on. They're going to need to draft and develop. The one positive you mentioned is, damn it, we could sure use a $30 million hitter. Well, the double Mitchwich and Donovan Solano come off the books next year, and that's $30 million right there.
And we know exactly what we're going to do with it.
Oh yeah.
Jose Abreu and Josh Donaldson. Man. But that's part of the joy of baseball as well too. Getting excited to see what happens, and then the letdown when instead of Jordans you get Jordans for for Christmas. But speaking of hitting the ball, man, what the hell was going on in Baltimore today? The Orioles were in a position that I didn't know that they hadn't won back-to-back games all year, and had a chance to get a good little streak going. And then the hit parade showed up, and they kept hitting and kept hitting and kept hitting and kept hitting. And then just when you thought it was over, they kept hitting.
Dude, they
They
gave up
kept
three
hitting though.
touchdowns and a field goal.
Dude, to score 24 runs. De La Cruz had a home run. Marte had a home run. Wins had a home run. And the majority of those runs didn't come from the long ball, is what I'm trying to get at. That's a good fucking day of hitting the baseball right there. Regardless who you were facing, who was throwing what, wood was being put to ball, and guys were moving around the diamond. Would love to see a Mariner game like that. That we score an abundance of runs and it came from guys circling the bases other than us relying on someone to hit the ball out of T-Mobile. You know, games like that don't happen often, but when they do, it's fantastic to watch.
Yeah. It's also great for team morale, man. Everyone feels so damn good when everybody's hitting.
Yeah, hitting inspires hitting. Or how did our coach used to say it? Hitting is contagious. So to see the lineup whip around like that had to feel good for those guys in the Cincinnati dugout. Now, the downside of that is let's see who they have in their next game and if they're able to try to keep it going. Oh, they got Miami tomorrow. They might be in a good position to keep that going, especially against Meyer. But yeah, man, Tyson, they did kind of smack the taste out of your mouth. They beat you down really good today. But that's just how baseball goes sometimes. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail.
And we talked about this last week, RG. The AL is so wide open right now. You look at the standings, and almost every team is really close to 500 one way or the other. I have a feeling this is going to be a really fun September for American League baseball fans. We referenced it last week. I don't think there's nearly the parity in the National League. There's a lot of haves and have-nots in that league, but there's a lot of teams that are going to be competing their asses off all summer to try to make the AL playoffs.
What's going excuse me, what's going to be fun is not only us living and dying with the Mariners, but if you spent the 149 on the baseball package, keep your eye on the NL West. That is going to be real interesting as they keep moving forward. The From my count, in the NL West, the Rockies are sub 200. You got the Cardinals and the Pirates are sub 500 in the Central. Surprisingly, the NL East has three teams under 500. You got the AL Central with three teams under 500. The AL East has two teams under 500, but again, Baltimore's only two and a half back after their disaster today. The AL West, we got two teams under 500, but again, there's only a game and a half. There's a one game gap between the Angels and the Astros, and the A's are only a game and a half back behind them as well too. So there's been some even baseball being played, minus the White Sox, who God knows what the hell is going on the south side of Chicago. Um, so yeah, it's still wide open for everybody. Injuries haven't run everyone rampant. Even though Luis Arias did get carted off the field tonight during Sunday Night Baseball, and prayers to him. Hopefully he can bounce back soon. That dude is one of the overall best hitters in baseball, and a joy to watch whenever you get to see him do his thing. Um, But yeah, man, coming through the end of April, it's still anyone's chase to be had. And let's see how much separation that there is in the next few weeks between now and Memorial Day.
Hmm. No doubt, no doubt. I just want to touch on one of your least favorite Mariners of the last few years, and I think a guy that fans had an odd attraction to in a way. But Jared Kelenic, once a top 10, top 5 type of prospect in all of baseball. You see what happened to him the other day? Dude hits
I
one
don't give
off
a
the
damn what
wall.
happened to Jared Kelnick.
No, but this is a little bit of a cautionary tale though for the Mariners, and they had these guy 10 in the top 100 prospects. But this dude was like a top 5, top 10 type of guy. He's hitting like 170 this year. He hits a shot off the wall, but he's hot dogging around first, gets thrown out at second, and this is why RG you always bring it up about your suspect about the prospects, and this is why though, man. I mean, this is Kellenick was your quintessential. Everyone in baseball thinks this dude is going to be a stud, and it is not happening at all, not even closely. So this is why you're right. Sometimes like you don't want to trade your whole system, but at some point, you got to trade a couple of guys because the odds tell us that even the best prospects are going to fail half the time.
If I'm Jared Kelnick, unless I hit a ball to the top of the light stanchion, I'm not hot dogging shit. Because you haven't earned the right to do a fucking thing other than keep your head down and act like Ichiro on the base path. Just not have had wasn't a fan of that guy when we got him. Wasn't a fan of that guy when we had him. Not a fan of him now that he's not on the team. Just I just don't get it, man. You're blessed to have a position that's sought after. How many stories have we heard of guys that have spent 17 years in the minors, never got a major league at bat? Or even the guy from Pittsburgh who got 17 years in the minors, got his major league at bat, and was so overcome with joy and emotion to finally say, hey, I made the dance. And then you got this guy who was a hot, sought after prospect who just hasn't done a damn thing to earn his spot. Then he's just warming up a seat for someone to come and take. Whatever happens to that boy, good for him on out. But yeah, if we never talk about Jerry Kelnick on this show again, I'd be more than pleased.
I had to bring that up. I had to bring that up just because it was on my baseball highlights page I was looking at. I was like, "What's this? Oh, bro." It's one of those ones like you said, you're in no position to be doing that. I was disappointed when I saw Barry Bonds do that kind of shit. And that's Barry fucking Bonds. Say what you will, there's a little bit of difference in stature with those two, and I was disappointed in Barry. So you're man, you gotta do better, bro. I mean, your job is on the line. Do you want to go back to riding buses or do you want to stay in 5-star hotels? You're on that borderline right now.
You're right, Mariners Lifer. The tweet that Acuna deleted made that much more interesting. Call his whole team out for for their lack of giving a fuck, basically. And that's the type of leader you want, though. And Acuna is showing you why he's an MVP caliber player while he's rehabbing, watching this shit go on like I never will. I never will do that to my team. Just give a damn. Respect the position you're in and go for it, especially if there are little league statues that have better at bats than you have in your career. What the hell are you out there doing, Kelnick?
Uh, it's baseball, and it shows how quick it can turn, though, man. The Braves were champions just a couple years ago. They're in trouble this year. So this is why some people are like, "Oh, you wait till next year." Wait, next year's never promised. This is pro sports, where even if you have a really good team one year, you can bring that same team back the next year and have completely different results because the other teams are doing everything they can to get better and kick your ass. Also,
And just remember, in their short existence, even though it's not as short as it once was, the Rays, the Rockies, and the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, and the Florida Marlins have all been to more World Series than the Seattle Mariners.
Truth.
Excuse me while I go cry.
It ain't easy being a Mariners fan, man. We know that shit.
Definitely not, bro. Definitely not. But it is baseball season. Happy to have baseball back. And I got to be honest, it's one of my favorite times of the year where the NBA and NHL have started their opening round
Woo!
of the playoffs. And if you are an NBA fan, it is 82 games of why the hell am I watching this shit just to get to this weekend where there's actually going to be effort put into basketball over the next 2.5 months. Anything stick out to you from kind of glancing over the NBA and NHL? How about those Matsumoto Thunder, baby, down there
Oh
in Oklahoma
boy.
City?
Oh my gosh. Is that the Thunder had maybe the biggest beatdown I've ever heard of in NBA playoffs history? I don't know what could top that. They were up by like 50 or 60 points at one point. So we know the Thunder are really good. The one thing I know is I hit the 40 mark this year, dude. And so I definitely want either the Lakers or the Warriors to win it all. I definitely need the Thunder to not hoist the trophy at the end of the year. But holy smokes, I gotta say this. We were talking about this when that Luca Anthony Davis trade went down. The Lakers, are they going to have any defense? Are they going to have any athleticism? I think the Lakers could knock out a lot of teams in this tournament, but I don't know if they have a chance with this T Wolves athleticism, man. This team is looking old and slow against these young and hungry T Wolves. And then, of course, the Golden State Warriors. Have you ever heard of a 7 seed being the favorite in a series over a 2 seed? But I fucking love Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. But I want to know what you think, though, man. Because I'm just a player hater from the outside, hoping the Sonics come back. So I just cheer for who I want to cheer for. I know you're a Suns fan. What are you looking at since your team's on the outside looking in?
Well, who knew that Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry were the teammates who we never knew we wanted? Just just how good they've been since their acquisition. But we'll go back to you said the Luka Doncic trade. If you were Nico Harrison, you have to be the most hated guy in the state of Texas right now. I wouldn't leave my house because it may not be safe. Yellow Beezy may have more people looking for you on the freeway than he had looking for MO3. Shout out to MO3 and may you rest in peace. But Nico Harrison, man, I don't know if there's been an executive that has had a worse 2 months in the league than him. You make a trade that makes the city hate you, and then in the game to get you into the playoffs, the guy you traded for gets hurt, and there goes any hope you have of winning that playing game. I don't know if you've seen a picture of his face. Matter of fact, I'll text it to you so you can all can see it off of camera. When AD goes out of that game, you can what was that old Simpsons cartoon where he says you can see the moment his heart breaks. just, man, just so much pain there. But again, you never know um, when it comes to these guys, especially guys in the NBA. I know we give AD a lot of grief, but to be that big and once you do get hurt the first time, it just opens up Pandora's box, man. And whoever knows, well, if you'll get back to being the player that you once were. And what's sad about AD is when he is healthy and playing well, he's easily one of the top 10 guys in the league. It's hard to defend that dude wherever he's at. He can stretch the floor, makes it difficult for you. You aren't out rebounding him. Makes it really tough. Makes it absolutely really tough. But geez, I'm trying to get this thing to send to you guys. I want you to be able to see it. But yeah, just look at the pain on his face when he's watching AT go to the sideline.
Oh.
And in that moment he's thinking, maybe I should sell my house. Maybe I should quit and go work at Wendy's. Um, but yeah, the Thunder man came out and put an all-time whooping on him as the number 1 seed should. You got Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler playing like the Warriors or trying to make a run to go back to it. I still think if the conspiracy theorist in me has my idea about how the playoffs is scripted, I think we're going to get a Celtics Lakers NBA final, but we'll definitely see who can step up to not make that happen. The series that probably is going to be the best in this first round is Denver Houston. I mean, it's Denver the Clippers because that was probably the most even match game that we had, and Joker's just a beast, man. Joker's just a beast. I think Shea deserves the MVP, but Joker's going to go down as an all-time great with the Zach Randolph vertical. And if you don't know what a Zach Randolph vertical is, I mean, that guy would struggle jumping over a phone book. If you don't know what a phone book is, I'm going to smack the shit out of you because that means you're 25 and under.
Oh man, I love me some Zebo, man, for real. I like that you brought up the Nuggets and Clippers though, because this guy gets some hate sometimes. But Russell Westbrook, dude, that's an NBA player I really appreciate. His skill set isn't necessarily my favorite, but in a league full of load management, this dude plays hard every night and was critically important down the stretch for the Nuggets to somehow come back and get game one in overtime. So, and Russell Westbrook, here's some great trivia for you. He was actually drafted as a Seattle Supersonic, even though he never played a game in Seattle.
Well, they need to change that and then say that he was drafted by the Thunder because it's been so long, I don't even know what a supersonic is. No, but the thing with Russ, I believe you got to get that guy to calm down because he's the greatest liability that's ever existed in the last two seasons in the NBA. Is there ever a player like, no, Russ, don't. Hey, man, that was a great shot. Or then 2 seconds later, it's, oh my God, what are you out there doing? Just, but you can't deny the career that he's had. I mean, before Jokic went on this run, Russell Westbrook was only the second player ever to average a triple double for a season, and was arguably top box office when him and Durant were doing their thing when they were younger out there in Oklahoma City. But yeah, I think that the Nuggets, Rockets, I mean, I keep saying Rockets because I keep thinking James Harden on the Rockets. Nuggets Clippers is going to be the matchup of the first round. And if you get a chance to watch any of that, it's going to be some good basketball.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, it's fun, man. I love the NBA playoffs. I've basically kind of tuned out to the regular season the last several years of my life, but I always come back for the playoffs without question.
Man, you and everybody else, the regular season is a hard product to watch because it's just a 3 point shooting contest. But there's actually adjustments that get made, defense that gets played, some good games that'll be happening, and yeah, it'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to watch. My sons, my sons are in a very terrible predicament moving forward, and who knows? Hopefully, we don't start one of those stretches again where it takes us 10 years to get back to the playoffs. But I would have never thought that of all the teams that had KD, we wasted his potential more than anybody else did. Um, the signing of Bill is probably the touch point of the whole conversation because we need to give 50 million to another guy instead of being able to break that out and get more pieces to keep around Booker and Durant. They felt it was necessary, and here we are on the other side of that, where next season it's obvious we're not going to be able to keep them. Um, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause, and then you're also going to be asking Devin Booker in year 11 to possibly be a part of a rebuild. And if I'm in his position, I'm going to laugh at them and say, get me the fuck out of here as fast as possible. So, Suns are in a very interesting position moving forward. But we'll hear more about that once we get closer to June or July. Hockey playoffs have been interesting for it. I didn't know that according to ESPN Bet, the odds-on favorite on ESPN Bet to win the Stanley Cup playoffs were the Colorado Avalanche. And boy, did they come out and play like it the other night. Just stomped the hell out of the Dallas Stars. Went up 2-0. Dallas fought back. Got another goal. Dallas fought back, and then just the ass whooping ensued from there. Just poured it on them in the third. The thing you should know about hockey playoffs, if you don't follow them, is almost every series goes 7 games. It is high pace. They are going to do a lot of hitting of each other. This is not your father's NHL. They will be putting points up on the board. And just if you get a chance to, even if you only watch the last half of a game, since they do tend to run a little bit long with the way that their intermissions are just so long in hockey, but enjoy it, man. It is definitely a high level competition. I can't move that fast out there on skates, and it's a combination of everything. It's a combination, if you like, soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, with offsides and all that good kind of stuff. They got that. You like fighting, they got that. You like hard hits, they got that. You like high paced action, they definitely have that. So it is a great time of year to be a sports fan. Now the baseball is rocking. We got the playoffs going, and even golf has been a very entertaining watch the last 2 weeks. I don't know if you got to see any of the Heritage today, but it's the final hole came down to playoff game between Justin Justin God is it? Why can't I think of his name right now? Having a major brain fart. Justin Thomas. Yeah, it came down to it, and he got his first win in 3 years. And if you know anything about the secret societies in sports, they're all part of the Tiger Woods Illuminati, and Tiger Woods' boys have won each of the last 2 weeks.
Well, when it comes to golf, man, there's if you're a fan of golf, there will be nothing more exciting than a playoff walk-off birdie. I watched about 2 holes of this tournament, and it was the last two, or I guess 3 holes. And I watched 17, 18 in the playoff because you know how I am. I'll keep my eye on my phone just to see is it going to be worth turning in Sunday afternoon, or am I going to want to do something else? I'm like, I got to tune into this shit. I'm a Justin Thomas fan. You're right. He hasn't won in a few years. A walk-off birdie. How incredible is that? But I want to go back to hockey really quick because you're right. The excitement of the NHL playoffs is unmatched. We have only seen our Seattle Kraken make it one time. They had a giant upset in the first round over said Colorado Avalanche, and Western Washington was on fire for that playoff run. Your favorite team, the Washington Capitals, with now the number one goal scorer of all time, is playing one of the more historic teams in the Montreal Canadiens. Talk to me about that series, bro.
Turnaround that the Capitals had because we snuck in the back door to the playoffs last year. Needed a win and other teams to lose on the final day of the regular season, and sure enough, that combination got cracked, and we snuck in the back door to make the playoffs. And then finished just a couple games short of the President's Cup, which is the team that has the best record in hockey, which I am on record as saying I wanted us to stay away from because a President's Cup winner hasn't won the Stanley Cup in 13 years now. So let's stay far away from that jinx. But when most people thought we were going to need to go into a rebuilding mode because we almost pulled the New York Giants where we were a little faithful to the roster that won the Stanley Cup in 18 than we needed to be, made some moves to get younger and faster, and it happened rather quickly for us. So we are the number one seed in the East, and a deep playoff run and even making it to the Stanley Cup finals, I think would be icing on the cake for the year that the team had doing what was necessary to help Ovechkin get this record. So I am definitely pulling for the Capitals. Will be rocking the red whenever we can. And the Canadians, man, they're poised to make a run. If someone is going to come out the East surprisingly, it might be them. Carolina and Florida are the money favorites coming out of the East, but you can't sleep on one of these Canadian teams because eventually a Canadian team is going to end their drought of not having a Stanley Cup winner in a very, excuse me, in an extremely long time. And I just hope that this isn't the year, but if there is a team that can do it, it could be them. The battle of Canada is going to come down to a matchup between Ottawa and Toronto. And geographically, with them being from the same province and having a history against each other, that might be a fun series to check out. Um, Brady Kachuk, who was one of the stars of the Frozen Four tournament for the U.S. team, this is going to be his time to shine to see if he can duplicate what his brother has done in Florida, making a run to the Cup Finals the last 2 years and getting to hoist it. It's a good time to watch some sports, man. It really is. So get into it, enjoy it, crack a beer, roll one up since it's 420. Do what you got to do, enjoy it, man.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, thanks for the hockey talk, man. You know me. I thoroughly enjoy watching it, but unlike the other sports I watch, I don't really understand the strategies at all. But that just shows you to me how fun playoff hockey is because there is a huge sports audience that doesn't know what the hell they're watching, but sure enjoy it. And I'm one of those guys.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, it's fun. How could you love sports and not love the Stanley Cup playoffs? One of the most exciting tournaments that's around. Um, the other big thing this week, I said in the pre-show I wasn't going to talk about it. WrestleMania did go down in Las Vegas over the last 2 nights, and I know some of the guys who would be interested are in the chat tonight since we got to a late start because I was watching WrestleMania. The unthinkable did happen, and John Cena won his 17th world title tonight. That's all I'm going to say about it.
You can't see me.
Apparently, they can't. Apparently, they can't. Oh, man, fun time to be a part of sports. Hope that everyone had a good Easter weekend with the family. I got to check out some of the Coachella performances. I was telling them off mic. I don't think anyone's had a funner 8 day span than Travis Scott, who headlined 2 nights of Coachella, then was a part of the WrestleMania main event tonight. Just all over the map and entertaining people who follow him. Good for him. Um, Last week we talked a little bit about the Kyron Lacey situation, and after we went off air, the official news came out that he did chose to part ways with his earth under his own hands because of the things that were going on. And I think it's just sad to keep seeing these young guys find tremendous ways to leave this earth. Just very unfortunate. Prayers out to both families. Then um, believe a cornerback from Missouri State was also found deceased this weekend at 21 years old. Then we had the shootings on the Florida State campus. I want to say there was another school incident, but I don't have that here in my notes in front of me, so I'm not going to speculate over something that I can't give us actual stat about. Um, World is a crazy place, man. Just take care of each other as you go about. Keep your head on a swivel. I found myself watching the documentary last night, and it had been 30 years since the Oklahoma City bombing, and I was 11 years old when that took place, and I got to thinking about the things that I've seen in my short life. And this world could be a crazy place to figure out sometimes. So again, take care of each other, enjoy the distractions that sports can be, and just focus on the athleticism of it and not the propaganda that they try to sneak into you every now and then too, because it is enough to make you go crazy.
Well said, bro.
Yes, sir. Anything else you got for the people?
Oh man, I'll just say like kind of I'll just piggyback with you for a minute. Just love your people, man, and enjoy your life. I've kind of been nerding out on some Neil deGrasse Tyson lately, and he's been one of the things I was listening to is he was talking about like from an evolutionary, from a species, from a planetary point of view, how unbelievably against the odds it is for you to even exist. So love the life you have, man, because the odds for a person to even exist is lower than any of our brains could possibly comprehend. And dude, love your people, watch your sports, listen to your music, enjoy this shit, man, because it's gonna go by quickly.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Find ways to find ways to break away from the nonsense as well too, and keep your eyes on your money. I guess that's what we're gonna try
Hell
to get on as
yeah.
well too. Man, if there's nothing else you got for it, man, let's go ahead and put the nail in the coffin for this week. Just a reminder: next week we will get to another late start too. I don't It's one of my weekends where I have a 12-hour shift on Sunday, so our start time will be pushed back, but we do hope you take out the time to join us. This is, as always, this is My Own Bias, another sports podcast brought to you by the good folks at Vegan Podcast Services. Couldn't make any of this happen without our super producer, Andy, with the magic tools that bring us live to you each and every Sunday. We tried our best to make that 5:30 start time, but sometimes sporting events take over and work and life take over, but we're always grateful for those of you who take the time out to join us, whether it's in the live chat or downloading these episodes. These episodes will be made live to you, available coming Tuesday morning, wherever you get your favorite podcast from. We'd like to give a big shout out to our social media director, Miss Katie Matsumoto. And I did get my own bias, another sports podcast t-shirt over the weekend. So we'll be rocking that as we move forward to it. Don't forget to follow us on our socials at YouTube, at Facebook, at TikTok, on Instagram and Snapchat as well. We try to post content throughout the course of the week just to keep you engaged with the things that we're looking at as we move forward in this sports lexicon. Gonna make this happen again without the good folks of Vaden Podcast Services. Shout out to you, Indy, for all you do. We hope you get well soon. The guy in the back where Seattle Mariner had is my homie, Ty Talk 24, representing Lake Stevens, Washington, the guy who makes us happy. That's Death to Indy. Don't forget to check out his YouTube page. Coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. You know me, dog. I hold it down for the Cinco Cero Cinco, representing the 505 each and every week. Your boy RG. And thank you for joining us for another episode of My Own Bias, another sports podcast.